If you are watching this video, then you are probably not a potato, and most likely a human being. This means that you experience emotions, such as happiness, sadness, along with more basic feelings like anger and sexual attraction. Hey! It's part of growing up and becoming an adult that you accept these feelings as a normal part of being a human, and that the wonderful thing about life is that you'll experience all sorts of things that trigger these emotions, good ones as well as bad ones. Anyone who tells you any different, such as getting angry isn't normal, might not have actually been able to come to terms with their own emotions, and can include those with low self-esteem and depression. It's also important to realise that just because someone is overly happy, that they are not permanently stuck like it, or just because someone became angry in an argument, that they are not an out-of-control nutcase. Feelings come and go, and it's important to let go of both happy and sad thoughts. Yes, remember them, but not dwell or stay emotionally stuck in one extreme state, as it can make you seriously ill. Normal feelings and emotions are similar to an analog signal, go up and down, whereby you can transfer from happiness down to sadness and back again within a few minutes. In a normal day, people tend to be in the middle area, either over happy or over sad. On occasion, however, you might go into one extreme or the other, and this is perfectly normal. Problems can come when you do expect to always be happy, and this is why celebrities often have difficulties, as they have a fantastic persona in the media and are mega rich, but they also still find that they're not always 100% happy, and this is because it's an incorrect expectation. If we didn't experience any feelings or emotions, then life itself would be very boring. Feelings and emotions are neither positive or negative, they're just a reflection of how things are. For example, anxiety, stress and fear aren't actually bad or negative. They're just your body telling you that something is wrong, needs changing, or that you need to be concerned about something in the future, like a job interview. These feelings are therefore a normal and natural messaging system. If you just try and cure the things like stress without looking at the cause, then the result won't last very long, as the stress is the effect from the cause. You actually need to solve the problem causing the stress in the first place to fix it. So, for example, someone goes into a doctor's surgery and says, "Hey, my foot hurts." And the doctor says, "Take these painkillers and the pain will go away." Eventually the painkillers run out and the pain returns, so they go back to see the doctor, who provides yet more painkillers, and the whole thing happens again when this next set of painkillers run out. Instead of trying to always fix the pain, which is the effect, if they'd looked in the shoe, then they'd find that the cause was a great big nail. One of the important things in dealing with feelings and emotions is to accept responsibility for them and acknowledge that they belong to you. In psychobabble talk, they say that you own your feelings and emotions. This means that you accept that they come from within you and not from outside. For example, if a plate or cup breaks and you get upset, then it is you that have reacted and become upset or angry. Another path that you could have taken is to see it as an accident. We all enjoy and want to own happy thoughts, and it's very easy to blame other people for our own anger or upset. The difficult thing, therefore, is to accept that other people don't upset us. It's only ourselves that are able to get ourselves upset. We also need to be aware that we all have triggers that cause intense emotions, and we need to own these as well. They're a bit like having a button that goes straight to the brain. Every time it gets pushed, the brain responds in an emotional way. The best example is that if you show straight men of a picture of an attractive lady without many clothes on, even just an outline, it will trigger a whole load of different internal reactions, feelings and emotions. The same goes with other external factors, such as those occur during an argument. Instead of blaming the other person for making you angry, owning your triggers, feelings and emotions means that you accept and acknowledge that it is your own internal response. You also need to accept that other people have their own set of triggers and might get upset and angry in certain situations. So, for example, it would be a bit naive if someone should incorrectly accuse someone else of something that just happens to push the triggers of that other person, and not expect some sort of emotional and potentially angry response. So just as you aren't a potato, other people aren't a potato either. Instead of saying, "He made me angry by saying I didn't make any effort," rephrase it into, "I get angry when I am accused of not making any effort." It might not sound like much, but it does actually make a big difference and helps to contribute to the idea mentioned in another video about building a lighthouse of confidence, where instead of being a victim of incoming influences that you can't control, you are actually shining yourself, including your own feelings and emotions, outwards into the world. Life is an amazing roller coaster of ups and downs, and just like a roller coaster, you need to enjoy the good bits and accept that there will be bad bits as well. Your feelings and emotions are the underlying foundations that provide the running commentary. If you're afraid to accept your feelings, then you might miss out on wonderful life experiences such as falling in love and exploring new places. It's also responsible for the creation and enjoyment of music, art, entertainment and humour. Remember, emotions aren't good or bad, and are perfectly normal messages coming up from the subconscious. They aren't facts like you find in a book, but they are things that you need to be aware of. The most important thing of all is to enjoy being a fully rounded human being that encompasses all sorts of different feelings and emotions. As I said before, you are not a potato. Remember to smile because you are unique.